In IB psychology, we usually focus on three different approaches that actually make psychology itself. From traditional standpoint, psychology is usually considered as the study of the brain or the way we behave. But in IB psychology, we tend to focus on three aspects of psychology. That includes the biological approach to psychology, the social-cultural approach to psychology, and the cognitive approach to psychology. And we also try to take into account that most of the psychological studies that are done to understand human behavior, they're normally done on a Western context, whereas in IB psychology, the students have an option and the opportunity to also understand how it applies to the context of different cultures, the Western culture and the Eastern culture, which we call them collectivist and individualist. Biologically, they also have an opportunity to understand how anatomy and physiology plays a role in our behaviors, things such as neurotransmitters, neuroplasticity, hormones, and genetics. From a cognitive perspective, they also touch base on emotions, thinking, decision-making, and how people tend to behave in certain ways due to those reasons. The students also not only focus on the content and theory, but they also look at different researches and studies that have been done that actually support those theories. So the students not only have to understand how things work, but also look at evidence that is out there that supports the idea of how it works. And not only that, the students at the end of the year, usually during their internal assessments, they also have an opportunity to conduct an experiment on their own, where they choose an experiment that they have studied and they get to replicate it and get a first-hand understanding of key scientific skills, because the basic fundamentals of what we know about the brain so far has actually come from the research that has been done out there. So it is a very hands-on subject which is very content heavy, but at the same time it engages on different areas of psychology that can help students to understand human behavior from different contexts and different approaches, the research that is out there, how they can at some point also be involved in direct research, see those observable results for themselves and make conclusions based on that, and see how it can be applied to the rest of the population.